Gamble by a Russian as well.
Oh, and a big dive. Just didn't come up with a mark. That was come on my face.
I don't like that kind of stuff in the game. We're not playing soccer. He's not Barisha from Brisbane Roar. There's no need for a dive.
Well, that's what happens when you go too far and wide, recruiting players from all over the world, Adam. And the ball just forced out of bounds.
Well, another one they got during the off-season from Italy, Manuel Gina, and I'm pretty sure a few of the players found that hard to say.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Just Manny Gina.
Yeah, no, he goes by Man for short, so that's Mangina. That's right. Callum White just takes a big one, puts the ball down. Oh, don't tell me.
William Wagland, the Eels water boy, he looks ripped as. He must have had a huge off-season.
Well, he has. He is a very fit young man, and the ball just being centred from Callum White to Brian again, who boots it down a long way into the forward line and onto the chest of Patrick Casey, who will line up again. No, he's going to pass this off.
No, he's passing again.
Or is that the old full forwards trick where you pretend to pass and you're really having a shot? No, that was directed at Paul Capper.
Capper did bring it forward, but Hawthorn with the crumbs out. And Ivor Smallcock's just cleared it. It's been play on advantage, so I don't know what the free kick was there for, but he's found Mangina, and Mangina's got the handball to Mitchell, but it's been played around here a little bit by Ellenbrook, who've cut him off.
Well, both sides just wasting opportunities, but look at this
play by Hamilton.
Oh, Daniel Hamilton just cut through the pack, and don't tell me it's not going to bounce through, but picked up by the defence down there.
Wendy Windows.
Hang on. Great closing speed once again. But ball still in play, and Eels with another chance.
Robertson on the left again. Robertson on the left. He's done it.
Robertson.
2 goals on the left, and if you wind back to 2011, he kicked some great goals on his left foot in the third quarter to set up the game, and he's doing the same right now just early on.
Well, I'm just having flashbacks to last year, Adam. He is just a mercurial player. I just love watching that kid play, and I could watch him all day.
And considering he got stabbed this year, and apparently it was by a St Norbert's player in a mask, actually, who we can't mention because is now banned from the waffle. He's done very well to get back in and start this well.
Well, he's a brave young man. I mean, we spoke last year about Josh Tuckwell only 2 years earlier having a bruised rib, and he still managed to play.
Yeah, still had the lump, and he's playing today as well, Josh Tuckwell, with that lump.
He's a fighter. He is a fighter, and you know, Alan Robertson stabbed in the chest, maybe not as serious as Josh Tuckwell's injury, but you know, he's still fought and come back there today. So, just brave team, the Eels.
He has, and Hicks has now delivered inside 50. It was cut off there by Poonam Shithole, and he's gone for the switch,
dangerous
which was risky, but proctologist.
No, he's dropped it.
Oh, that is disastrous for him.
Well, if his
great
marking
tackle by Hawthorn.
If his marking technique had any more holy, if it were any more holy, he'd be Jesus Christ himself, that bloke.
Oh, and the siren's gone with the hand. Quarter time here, David Van Rauw. What is your thoughts of that first quarter? Ellenbrook started sensationally, but St Norbert's just settled and got back into this one.
Yeah, well, Ellenbrook certainly came out hard and got the early points on the board, and then they just seemed to drop off a bit and let St Norbert's back in there. It is a bit of a warm day though, Adam, so one side will not have the ascendancy for the whole 100 minutes or 80 minutes of this game, I should say. It will chop and change, so your earlier prediction of a 100-point win I think is probably a little bit optimistic. It's going to be a lot closer than that.
Oh, well, you know, I'm still going to stick by that 100-point margin that I apparently came up with. But, I mean, a few stars in that quarter. Alan Robertson, apparently he's just gone from 2011 Grand Final and wants to go back-to-back Norm Smith medals because he has been sensational in kicking 2 goals on his left foot. You expect nothing less. Jared Hawthorn's been around the packs a lot and really getting front and square to the forwards when they're dropping the mark, which has been really good to see. Is there anyone else that's been standing out for you?
Well, I think all the forwards are sharing it around quite well and they're all having a little bit of the ball. Obviously, Carl Bishop is just on the bottom of every pack and feeding it out and working very hard.
And each the midfield forwards, and we've had a bit of a talk to you, so I won't go over what we said. We just need to make sure that, as I said to the forwards, the delivery in there's probably not as good as we'd like, but it's been a little bit like that all year. So just steady when you've got the voice a little bit more talk, and those blokes have got the ball running a little forward line, so that they know they've got a little bit more time to steady and hit the targets up. Because if we talked about it before, if we've got hit the targets up and we take those marks, we've got the option. When the ball hits the ground and it's bad, then that's, you know, it's game on. give our forwards every opportunity to take that mark and go back and have a shot or what we need to do with it, right? Or pass it off. But we just need to keep working. A little bit harder in the middle. We just got to start winning that ball. And the backs, just continue to do what you've done over here, okay? Really tight. When we've got the ball, we can run off and make sure that, but when we have it, we're defensive. We need to make sure we lock them down and don't give.
Well, it's quarter time here at Mills Park, and Ellenbrook leads St Norbert's 3-3-21 to 3-1-19. Ellenbrook jumped off to a great start here, but St Norbert's kicked a few late goals to get back in this game. There's been a few good players for Ellenbrook so far. Carl Bishop has been sensational, and Cole Hicks has also been very well. David, what's been your thoughts on St Norbert's?
Well, as you said, Adam, they got off to a really slow start. However, they fought their way back into the game just with a bit of good defensive pressure and a little bit more pressure around the ground as well. I think a couple of key influences for them came from Ivor Smallcock. He had a lot of the ball down back, but as we stated during the commentary, that is because Ellenbrook were dominating play in the early stages. Also, the Italian import Mangina was quite crucial. And another import, they're very international, St Norbert's. Another import from Africa, Uptuma Rist. He was also very important, just with his pace around the ground, and that's what I feel the African players can really bring to the game.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great insight there, David, and those players have been very vital, and they'll have to be again for St Norbert's to keep in this game. I think the siren's about to go, so we'll go down for the second quarter. All right, and we're ready here for the second quarter between Ellenbrook and St Norbert's. Ellenbrook up by 2 points, 3-3-21 to 3-1-19. So a very tightly contested quarter there with Ellenbrook getting the jump, but St Norbert's settling and coming back into it late. Huge Ass is holding the ball up, and we're getting ready for the throw up. Anderson taking on Poonam Shithole. Anderson with a smashing fist forward. Rode very well there. Who was that by? That was Bishop. You'd expect nothing less from him. Hands out to the side. Hawthorn's around there trying to get it, but it looks like Paul Smoker's won it for St Norbert's.
Feeds it out to Bendover, who gets kicked down into their attacking half. Scrappy once again. The skills are not hitting the targets today. However, a chance for a shot on goal early in the second quarter here. St Norbert's working hard, but
Colonoscopy
showed a good turn of pace there.
And great attack there by Bendover. I think they're trying to look for the boundary line here, St Norbert's. They're just paddling it sideways, but Ellenbrook keeping the pressure on really well here, but it is eventuated, and we're going to have a throw in.
Well, that was deliberate for mine, Adam.
Well, it did look like that. They were definitely paddling towards the red. What would you say that car is there, David? That nice red-looking one.
That looks like a 1994 Holden Commodore, I would say. Or Nissan Pintara, it is.
Okay.
It's
very risky. A lot of these cars parking behind the goals. I don't know if they understand the aim at AFL is to kick through those goals. And I wouldn't park my car there. I mean, my BMW is just around the corner.
I think if you had a Nissan Pintara, you probably wouldn't care too much.
All right, well, Hamilton's got it, and he's cleared the defensive 50 with a raking kick down the line, looking for Robertson, who got in front. Glanville's roved it. He's spun around too, giving it back to Robertson, who's dodged. He's looking for the hands in the middle to Bishop there. Bishop's run onto it. He's going to kick it into the 50, looking for the lead of a few forwards. A great camera change there. It's tough. Oh, big dive there. That was Kappa. That was a huge dive. And it's come out now to Ivor Smallcock, who's cleared it out there.
Just a great... Sorry, Adam, I wasn't cutting you off. I was just adding that in. That's a great tackle, the great defensive tackle.
Well, that was great commentary by you, David, so I'm glad you did come in with that. And it's still getting played there by Poonam Shithole, who's just fumbling a little bit. Another great camera change. They're all over it today. And he's found Wilmer Fingadoo on the wing.
Fingadoo, he's a long kick and he's been very prominent so far. Who's he spotting up now? Oh, well, look, Luke Hurley gets a big ride. Didn't come down with a mark, but geez, that was tough. And is that another shot on goal from St Norbert's? They are peppering at the moment. Great defence there.
Rush through. Who was that?
That is...
Reece Innes. Great defensive pressure by Reece Innes, getting right down to the last line in defence.
No headband for Reece this year. Had his head shaved off at a charity event earlier in the year. Now,
I must feel naked watching him.
Oh, look, it was a great gesture for him to do. However, I think it could be costly having no headband in the team. Well, as we know, our other headband wearer, Ty Campbell, is not in the side today. Hasn't played all year, so two headbands down this year. It could be costly for.
Could be very costly. And as you said, I think it was a great thing that he shaved his head. But seriously, mid-season, how long does it take to grow your hair back? What's he doing?
Well, You tell me, Adam.
We might have to have a talk to him at half-time if the producers allow that. But anyway, it's gone up to the forward, and Hicks playing very strongly in front there. You mentioned this guy in the first quarter, David. He's playing really well, and that's a great lace-out pass. Just got a little bit of wind there, carried it over the head, but it's been mucked around here by Ivor Smallcock. He's trying to take on Ivor Smallcock, holding the ball, umpire, surely. And it has been called there, and Porter is going to have a shot. I think he's close enough here, but Ivor Smallcock just fumbling around with it.
Well, Huge Arse let him run about 300 metres whilst being tackled there.
And he didn't look like he was even trying to get rid of the hands. So Cameron Porter here, it's going to be a tough kick. Little legs, but I'm sure they can kick quite far. Porter, he ran outside, which shows that the distance might trouble him here, and it has. It's been punched on the line. Just him running out wide there showed it might have been right on his limits, but a great chase, and the Eels would be really happy with that forward pressure.
Well, I don't know, Adam. I've got a perfect angle from here, and that looked like it was about 1.5 metres over. I think these umpires need to be looked at.
Well, I'm just wondering when amateur football is going to get with the times and have the camera on the goalpost, because you wouldn't want a final to go down by a point and decisions like this be involved. And I mean, obviously this one's not going to be a close one, but if it was under a goal,
yeah, right.
St Norbert's would have to pull something out today, and I mean, Harry Anus would want to be pulling something really out, because he'd have to have a massive one for them to get close. But
well, speaking of pulling things out, there's Ivor Smallcock.
And up to my wrist, just following him with the ball as well to the boundary line. So Huge Arse, he's doing the boundary throw-in as well this time, so I don't know what he's doing.
Suckeroff looking to come in as the third man over the top.
The big Russian.
Oh, well, that was actually intelligent, but the Eels have spotted
Hicks
it.
with a raking handball there.
Good handball backwards. That's smart play.
They've kicked it forward. Patrick Casey managed
to
put a
real
good shepherd on. Great shepherd by Patrick Casey.
Not Robertson again. Don't tell me.
Is that Robertson?
I don't know.
I couldn't tell. It is. That's 3 goals for Alan Robertson.
Well,
and he has started. Just give him the medal now.
Dear, oh dear. Can this boy play in the big games?
Well, I'm just wondering how much longer they're going to persist with Wendy Windass, because he is doing nothing on Robertson. And to be honest, I'd be putting up to my wrist on Robertson and all around Robertson, because you want to be stopping him always possible.
Well, I think he's going to be a dangerous player no matter who they put on him. He just, as I said last year, when he gets the ball, magic happens.
And, well, the umpire's a little bit slower compared to last year, but Huge Arse, he really does struggle to get up and down the field, so he's throwing it up. We've got Anderson against Ivor Smallcock. Anderson, a big win there, and he's been really good in the ruck this year. And it's fumbled around there. Porter going in hard on hands and knees with Bendover. Bendover's always on the bottom of the packs and on all fours, so good to see him on the bottom of the pack.
Well, Bendover just came in head first, and Come On My Face was there to be the receiver, but it didn't eventuate.
And they're both just cleaning themselves up now and ready for the new contest.
Eels with a free kick. That was Anderson again. He started well, and a good strong mark to Dan Hamilton.
He started really well on that half-forward flank, hasn't he, Van Rout?
Well, he's a good player, Hamilton. Not his best kick there. He's normally a lot more.
But Robertson's forward pressure again.
Look at this. Smallcock wins it out. He's having a bit of it, Smallcock. But as we said before, it's because the Eels are doing the bulk of the attacking. Good shepherd from Best.
Great shepherd by Best. We haven't called him yet, but if he keeps doing those 1%ers, that's all you need in a grand final. He went to go again there. Great switch by Hamilton. I don't know who that was to.
Best again, I think.
I can't see that either. What's he called now? These umpires. Huge Arse.
Looks like a St Norbert's free kick.
And Paul Smoker's just playing around with it a little bit there, so maybe he took a little bit of a hit behind play. I remember Wayne Maiden taking a huge hit last year in the grand final where he fumbled, and I'm surprised he got back on the field, and it just looks like Paul Smoker might have had the same hit.
Adam, I will never forget that hit on Wayne Maiden. It took me back to seeing James Hurd when he fell onto the knee out at Subiaco there. Many years before, and it was just a sickening blow, and you just hate seeing things like that in football.
And it was that kind of 1%ers that really lifted the Eels. I mean, that was coming into three-quarter time. They showed the courage. I'm sure the coach mentioned it at going to three-quarter time.
It was critical.
Exactly, and it's those kind of moments that I think are going to have a big effect today, and be interesting to see who stands up for Ellenbrook and does that. But at the moment, it's in St Norbert's forward line, and Poonam Shito is going to have a set shot, and he's been quite good this year at just splitting the middle.
He is a good kick, Shito. And here he comes, a good deliberate approach to the goal into a nice light